Real understanding has no goal. When understanding is genuine, there is no future payoff in mind. Real understanding has no goal because it is complete in itself. The moment there is a future payoff, understanding is already contaminated by motive. Then it is no longer understanding. It is strategy disguised as insight. Why genuine understanding cannot have a goal? A goal implies lack now, completion later, movement toward reward. But understanding is seeing what is right now without distortion. When you truly understand fire, you don't touch it hoping to learn later. The understanding itself ends the question. So, yes, when understanding is genuine, there is no future payoff in mind. If there is a payoff, money, security, enlightenment, status, even growth, then the mind is still seeking. Very subtle but crucial distinction. This does not mean no action, no learning, no progress. Action still happens, learning still deepens, results still appear, but they are side effects, not objectives. Like breathing, you don't breathe to live, you live and breathing happens. Why this feels unsettling to the mind? The mind is built on accumulation, continuity, narrative. Understanding breaks narrative. That's why after real insight you feel quiet, non-ambitious, uninterested in experiencing, not because life is dull, but because illusion-driven hunger has stopped. Ask yourself, if no one knew, nothing improved, and nothing came of this, would the seeing still matter? If the answer is yes, that's understanding. If no, it's still a transaction, important grounding, so you don't drift. Understanding with no goal is not withdrawal, it is clarity without greed. You still work, you still earn, you still take risks, but now without self-deception, without inner bargaining, without future addiction. So understanding ends seeking, action continues. When I say understanding ends seeking, action continues, I'm trying to say, at first it sounds paradoxical. Because we are used to, if I stop seeking, I'll stop acting. But that only feels true because most of our action has been powered by seeking. What seeking actually is very important. Seeking is not action. Seeking is acting to fill a psychological lack, moving toward an imagined future state, using the present as a means, not an end. Examples: working to feel enough, earning to feel secure, training to become someone. Seeking is inner movement, not outer movement. What real understanding does? When understanding happens, something very specific collapses. The illusion of lack, the belief that fulfillment is later, the psychological urgency to arrive somewhere. This is not suppression, it's seeing through a false assumption. Like realizing the rope is not a snake. Fear ends instantly. You don't try to stop being afraid. So, understanding ends seeking automatically. Why action does not stop? Here's the key mistake most people make. They think action exists only to satisfy desire, but action also exists because the body needs movement. Situations demand response. Intelligence expresses itself through doing. Life itself is movement. When seeking drops, compulsive action ends. Appropriate action remains. The quality of action changes completely. Before understanding, action is effort toward reward. Tension is constant. Results is psychologically loaded. After understanding, action is response to fact. Effort is functional, not emotional. Results is informational, not personal. You still work, train, earn, solve problems, but without the inner contract. This must give me something. Concrete example: gym, seeker mode, training to look better, be admired, become disciplined. Understanding mode: body needs load, you train. Technique matters, you refine. Fatigue appears, you rest. Training continues, seeking stops. Money, seeker mode, earning to feel safe, respected, ahead. Understanding mode: skills create value, value converts to money. Money is required, you earn. Earning continues, psychological hunger stops. Why this feels like emptiness at first? When seeking ends, ambition quiets, imagination slows, future loss emotional charge. The mind interprets this as nothing is happening. But that's only because noise has stopped. Action is still there, just without drama. one simple test. Ask during any activity. If nothing came from this, would the action still be right? If yes, action is rooted in understanding. If no, seeking is striving. No judgment, just observation. Seeking is psychological movement. Action is life's movement. Understanding ends the first, not the second. That's why understanding ends seeking. Action continues. Real understanding shuts psychological noise down automatically. Psychological noise is not thoughts, it is compulsive inner movement, constant interpretation, self referential chatter, mental effort to become, fix, or arrive. Noise is born from seeking. The mind chatters because it wants something, not because it is broken, because it is oriented toward gain. Why seeking creates noise mechanically? Seeking implies I am incomplete, something is missing. Later will be better than now. That assumption forces the mind to plan, compare, judge, rehearse, replay, anticipate. All of that is noise. So, noise is not random, it is functional. It exists to serve seeking. Real understanding is not conceptual clarity, it is seeing a false assumption as false, permanently, not temporarily. When you truly understand fire burns, you don't manage your desire to touch it. The desire disappears. You don't suppress, you don't discipline, you don't remind yourself. The illusion collapses. Why real understanding ends noise automatically? Here is the key mechanism. Noise exists to help you get something. Understanding shows there is nothing to get. Therefore, noise has no function, and what has no function cannot continue. Silence is not achieved, it remains when falsehood drops. So you don't quiet the mind, you don't fight thoughts, you don't practice silence, you see through seeking, and noise stops. Why action still continues? Understanding does not make you passive, it makes you precise, because action is biological and situational. Noise is psychological and imaginary. When noise ends, action becomes simpler, decisions become faster, effort becomes cleaner, no internal debate, no motivational talk, no resistance. Why this feels unsettling at first? When noise drops, ambition collapses, excitement fades, future loses emotional pull, the mind panics. If I don't want anything, will I stop living? You won't stop living, you'll stop hallucinating. Life becomes ordinary, sharp, grounded. Very important distinction. Psychological silence is fake, cultivated, temporary. Structural silence is permanent, effortless, natural. Structural silence comes from seeing that the self is not a project. Once seen, noise cannot resemble in the same way. What exactly are you trying to get from your next thought? If the answer is relief, certainty, reassurance, future security, that thought is noise. Understanding removes the need for that relief. So, psychological noise exists to serve seeking. Seeking is based on a false assumption to lack. Real understanding exposes the false assumption. When the assumption collapses, noise has no fuel. Silence is not produced, it remains. Action continues, but without self-interference. So, the real understanding ends psychological noise because it removes the need for inner movement. Real understanding has no goal. When understanding is genuine, there is no future payoff in mind. Seeking ends, psychological noise falls silent, and action continues, not for reward, not for becoming, but as a direct response to reality. So, real understanding is not a means to an end. It does not exist to produce a result, a feeling, a future state, or an identity. The moment understanding is used to achieve something, it is no longer understanding, it has become strategy. When understanding is genuine, there is no future payoff in mind. There is no psychological bargain with life, no inner demand that action must deliver security, worth, relief, or fulfillment. The illusion of lack collapses, and with it, the need to seek. Seeking ends not because it is suppressed, but because it is seen as unnecessary. Psychological noise, the constant inner movement of planning, comparing, judging, and becoming, loses its function and naturally falls silent. Silence is not cultivated, it remains when false assumptions drop away. Yet, action does not stop. Life continues to move. The body acts, work happens, decisions are made, risks are taken, but now action arises as a direct response to reality, not as a path toward psychological gain. Outcomes may occur, money, skill, growth, success, but they are byproducts, not motives. This is the state of the doer or understander. Present oriented, internally quiet, learning continuously, acting without self reference. There is no performer to impress, no seeker to satisfy, only intelligence responding to what is. In this clarity, effort becomes clean, risk becomes natural, and work becomes precise. Understanding ends seeking, action continues.